la, la, la. You okay there, my boy? We're gonna get settled in.
They should be moving. They should be moving. They should be moving.
Shalom, King. Mo Confo. Mo Confo. Just got Mo Confo. Just got Mo Confo. Just got Mo Confo. Now the rules of the game is, if you can't read with vision, Shalom, we got a party going. If you can't read with vision, this ain't the place for you. If you don't understand crazy talk, this ain't the place for you. This is where them aliens, this is where we dialogue, get our dialogue going. Yeah. This is where the aliens get our dialogue going, big baby. Yeah. It's wide open. It's wide open. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you everything these monkeys been doing. Yes, sir. By the power of the Almighty, we breaking every stronghold, big baby.
They should be moving.
Hold on. Carry it out. Yeah.
They should be moving.
What's up, love? Is he wearing you out? This is what you doing over there with your mama. Hey, we're about to get down, y'all. Y'all, please, I need y'all, man. I need y'all, brothers and sisters. Brother King Dash, y'all Judah, and Royal Princess, Royal Queen, Lakeisha. Because we are royalty, damn it. That's what our power then told us now. I need y'all, man. We about to do this thing, man. We're about to do this thing, man. All the way. Break it all the way down. But I think my brother got a couple of brothers. Like my brother Devon and my brother Scotty, man. They trying to wake a sleeper giant up right now, man, with the music tip. I know what they trying to do.
It's just different.
So I got a little anthem, man. This is for the man, man. This is for the man, man. This is what we gotta be on right now. You hear me? This is what we gotta be on. Mighty, mighty man, time to take the stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set them praises high. Mighty, mighty man, touch the sky. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. We in here, man. We in here. Down Judah like, let's go. Mighty, mighty man, time to take a stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set them praises high. Mighty, mighty man, time to touch the sky. Mighty, mighty man, time to take a stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set your praises high. Mighty, mighty man, it's time to touch the sky. Let's go. Put that war face on, man. It's time to take back what's ours. Here it is. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mighty, mighty man, time to take a stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set your praises high. Mighty, mighty man, it's time to touch the sky. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man. Let's go. We here, man. We about to show what power do. Let's go. You gotta be blind and you can't see him moving. Let's go. Let's get the war. Let's get mama. We gotta get mama dancing up in this mall. Huh? We gotta get pops dancing up in this mall. Huh? Let's go. Yeah, this is gonna be crazy. Mighty, mighty man, time to take a stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set them praises high. Mighty, mighty man, it's time to touch the sky. Mighty, mighty man, it's time to take a stand. Mighty, mighty man, get yourself advanced. Mighty, mighty man, set them praises high. Mighty, mighty man, it's time to touch the sky. Let's go. Gonna ride this out, man. We riding this out. Mighty man, baby. Mighty man, baby. That's who's coming. That's what's coming. Give me my powers back. Give me my powers back. The one that holds the key to life and death. The king of old. The ancient. The honorable.
It's just different.
Now we got that out the way. Now we got the stage blazing. Now we got the stage blazing. This is what I want to start off with. So before, just a couple of minutes ago, I got off the phone with my brother, my beloved brother Scotty. And he likes to share with me a link that he researched. See, that's what our people need to do. Before, we like to debate before we go research to see if what this individual, any individual bringing out, see if it's true. We would rather take the easy route, which is to debate. And I don't know why we like to do that. But I know it's not a power. You feel me? It got no brotherhood in it. That's anti-brotherhood. It's to debate all the damn time. We rather debate than to do our due diligence and go see about what this character, what this person is saying. We just like to easily mark it off and say, oh, he's wrong. He don't know what he's talking about. He's speaking false doctrine. No, Negro, stop being lazy and do your due diligence and go look for yourself, nigga. Go look it up. Go look it up. That's all you got to do, man. Stop wasting your time debating. That's what you're doing. You're just wasting time. So, like I said, this is for the ones that see with vision, and this is for the crazy talkers, man. You know, we speak that crazy talk. We speak in tongues. You feel me? What the church think is no. I'm going to show you what speaking in tongues is. I'm about to show you right now. I'm about to show you with the power of the eternal fire, okay? And through the almighty king, through him, and of course, the eternal mother, the Ruach HaKodesh, with the guidance of Michael, I'm about to show you. You saw them, all that power together. Them four right there. You know what that power do with them four right there? You can't be touched, man. You crazy? You got Mom, you got Pops, you got Mom, and you got the two brothers. Nobody can touch you when you got that around you. So we're going to do this right here. If you can't read with vision, this ain't for you. This ain't for you. Because you're going to fall under that, oh, he making up his own doctrine. No. Not at all. On the contrary, my friend. You just got to do your due diligence. Precept by precept. Here a little, there a little. Line upon line, line upon line. You got to do that. And around here, we give credit to where credit is due. Brother Ayil did make that noticeable. He did bring that out. He did bring that to everybody's attention. In Isaiah 28. Power used him. Power used him to follow the guidelines for the doctrine of truth, for the doctrine of life. Okay? Is in Isaiah. What you say all the time, King Dazjal Judah? What you say all the time, family? About who Isaiah is? Oh my, you can't leave nowhere. You can't leave nowhere. Yeah, he ain't gonna look at it. All right. So you got in the sealed portion. Oh, let me first say what my brother Scotty and I was talking about, what he brung to me. Okay? This is how power works, man. He sent a leak. Spirit of truth. There you go. He sent a leak on what's on the Vatican. And they're talking about Joseph. Let me tell you how this is going around right now, okay? I'm going to tell you how this is going around. You got, I seen earlier today on my YouTube feed, and Power just put it on my YouTube. It was just playing itself. TD Jakes, TD Snakes, speaking on Joseph Now you know these Christian churches don't go into the Old Testament. You know they don't. You know they don't do that there. So what had him try to finesse the story of Joseph? I'm about to show y'all where the brethren got their doctrine from. Okay? I'm going to show you where they got their doctrine from. All right? You read with vision, you will see it clear as day. Clear as day. Seal portion, chapter 43. I'm going to just read the header just to show you my point. Okay? Written scripture given through revelation can sometimes be misunderstood because of faulty translation, fraudulent translation. The reasons why Jesus is not mentioned in most historical documents. Wait a minute, pause right there. Everybody knows Jesus, so this can't be the same Jesus. Everybody knows Jesus. The whole world knows Jesus, right? Got to read with vision, man. Here we go. Talking about not mentioned in most historical documents. That's a lie. Jesus everywhere. All right. The early years of Christ with his family, which consisted of Joseph. Look how they finesse things. Which consisted of Joseph, okay, his mother Mary, and his brothers, Joseph Jr. Joseph Jr. Did you know that was Jesus Christ's brother? Joseph Jr., James, Simeon, or Simon, and Judas, and his sister Sariah, Rachel, Elizabeth, and Anna. Where did they get these names from? See, when you are on to the enemy, you start to see a pattern that he does. Power been telling us this whole time how he works. We just wasn't listening. But now, my people, brothers and sisters, it is time to hear what he is saying. Okay? It's time to hear. Listen, how they did Joseph is how they did the Messiah, his son. Watch this. I heard how a camp member broke it down. You're right. Right in your face. Right in your face, right, bro? This is now we read with vision. It's over with. You see what I'm saying? Because they can't be talking about the Jesus Christ that everybody knows. So what Jesus is they talking about? Because Jesus Christ that everybody knows is in all historical documents. So, how they did Joseph is how they did Joshua, the son of Nun, who would be a descendant of Joseph. You get it? It's a pattern that is going on. It's called copy and paste. Copy and paste. That's what I just read to you. Okay? Listening to one of the, in my earlier stages of him waking me up. Of power waking me up. Okay? We all went through the camp phase. And I had a particular brother that I listened to from Chicago, out of the GMS camps. Okay? And what he would say about Joshua, he would say Joshua was a foreshadow of Jesus. He was a force of Jesus. But if you pay attention to scripture, that's not what scripture tells you. That's not what power tells you. If you come out of man's doctrine, okay, if you come out of the false prophet's doctrine and come into the truth, it's right in your face. Okay? So, that being said, let's kick this thing off. Joseph intercedeth. Joseph intercedeth. This is going to sound very, very familiar. You're going to catch a lot of things. Because what this story consists of is the humility, the meekness and humbleness of Asenath and what it gotten her and what place she has gotten in the heavens because of it. Follow me. I'm going to start with Joseph is convinced that Asenath will not molest him and agrees to meet her. Why was this? Once again, I'm going to give you an example of copy and paste. Joseph was so pretty. He was such a pretty boy that he couldn't keep females off of him. He needed bodyguards like a superstar. Like how Trey Songz and Chris Brown need females off of them. They need bodyguards. But I'm pretty sure the beauty of Joseph made Chris Brown and Trey Songz look like the old Gucci Mane. You know what I'm saying? So this is why you see when they do white Jesus, he looks very pretty. He looks very fair. Where did they get that from? Copy and paste. They couldn't tell you, or not a nigga. Nigga can't be that pretty. But as you see, power is showing. Very, 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 a lot of beautiful black men. A lot of beautiful black men to this day. And I can say that with no, you know what I'm saying, or when they're, because I know I'm all about females. You feel me? So I can say a brother is beautiful and be straight as hell. Okay? Here it is. And Joseph entered the house of Potiphar's and sat upon the throne. And they washed his feet and sat at the table before him by itself. Okay? Because Joseph never ate with the Egyptians. Pay attention to this, man. If you really focus on it and like read and hear the things about Joseph, you would know who he is. You would know who he is. Okay? He didn't the whole time, and he still won over the heart of Pharaoh. And he had nothing to do with him. So it makes you think, how did he win over the heart of Pharaoh and he disowned everything that was about him? For this was an abomination to him. It was an abomination to Joseph. And looking up with his eyes, Joseph saw Asenath leaning through the window. And a certain man. Come on, sis. And Joseph said to Potiphar and his whole family, saying, who is this woman who is standing in the upper floor by the window. Let her leave this house, because Joseph was afraid, saying, This one must not molest me too. For all the wives and daughters of the noblemen and satraps of the whole land of Egypt used to molest him, wanting to sleep with him, and all the wives and the daughters of the Egyptians, when they saw Joseph, suffered badly because of his beauty. They suffered badly because of his beauty. Can you even imagine how pretty this dude was? They hurting based off his beauty alone. They hurting. Right? But Joseph despised them. The messenger whom the woman sent to him with gold and silver and valuable presents, Joseph sent back with threats and insults, because Joseph said, I would not sin before the maker power of my father Israel, nor in the face of my father Jacob. I'm going to read that again. That's two different characters. He said, but Joseph despised them and the messengers whom the woman sent to him with gold and silver. What did they say about Christ? Where did they get that from? He can't be bought. He can't be bought. He can't be bought. So women coming, how did Satan tempt Jesus? Then he tempt him with gold and silver and thoughts. So the women coming, they come, you can see it come with the things out, with the booty, come with them with the gold, and man, and he despised them and turned them back. It says, Joseph despised them and the messengers whom the women sent to him with gold and silver and valuable presents. Joseph sent back with threats and insults, because Joseph said, I will not sin, listen carefully, before the maker power of my father Israel, nor in the face of my father Jacob. Y'all let me know what y'all getting from that. Because it's going to come back again in the story. In the face of my father Jacob, Joseph always had before his eyes, and he remembered his father's commandments. For Jacob would say to his son Joseph, Jacob would say to his son Joseph and all his sons, my children, guard strongly against associating with a strange woman. For association with her is destruction and corruption. Therefore, Joseph said, let this woman leave this house. So, and this is what I find funny about the brethren always trying to belittle women. Okay? It's showing you right now how much power women got. Even back then. Right? So if the adversary of power got women playing their role on such a high rank, what makes you think power ain't got that on? Where did they get it from? That's the teachings come from the Ruach, man. It come from the Ruach. And he says, and Potiphar said to him, Lord, this one whom you have seen standing in the upper, Potiphar said to him, talking to Joseph, called him Lord, the Pharaoh king, the king of Egypt, right? He calling him Lord. This is what we got to see this with vision. He says, Lord, this one whom you have seen standing in the upper floor is not a strange woman, but she is our daughter, a virgin hating every man, and there is not any other man or any other man who has ever seen her except you alone today. And if you will, she will come and address you, because our daughter is like a sister to you. And Joseph rejoiced exceedingly with great joy, because Potiphar has said, she is a virgin hating every man. And Joseph said by himself, if she is a virgin hating every man, this girl will certainly not molest me. And Joseph said to Potiphar and his whole family, if she is your daughter and a virgin, let her come, because she is a sister to me, and I love her from today as my sister. Okay? And then next chapter goes to say, Joseph will not be kissed by Asenath, but prayers for her conversion, but prays for her conversion. Okay. Let's tell who do they get the stories from, man? And Asenath's mother went up to the upper floor and brought her and stood her before Joseph. And Potiphar said to his daughter Asenath, greet your brother, because he too is a virgin like you today and hates every strange woman as you. Doesn't sound like it's a match made in heaven, right? Where they get that from. And Asenath said to Joseph, be of good cheer. Right? Be of good cheer. It's like, my Lord, blessed by the Most High. Lord, blessed by the Most High. Lord. And Joseph said to Asenath, may the maker power who gives life to all things bless you. And Potiphar said to his daughter Asenath, go up and kiss your brother. And as Asenath went up to kiss Joseph, Joseph stretched out his right hand and put it on her chest between her two breasts, and her breasts were already standing upright like handsome apples. That's how they described it, handsome apples, whatever that means. And Joseph said, it is not fitting for a man who worships power, who will bless with his mouth the living power and eat blessed bread of life and drink a blessed cup of immortality and anoint himself with blessed ointment of incorruptibility, to kiss a strange woman who will bless with her mouth dead and dumb idols and eat from their table bread a strangulation and drink from their libertation a cup of insidiousness and anoint herself with ointment of destruction. But a man who worships power will kiss his mother and his sister, who is born of his mother, and the sister who is born of his clan and family, and the wife who shares his bed, all of whom bless with their mouths the living power. Likewise, for a woman who worships power, is not fitting to kiss a strange man, because this is an abomination before the Maker power. Where did they get that story from? I'm still good on YouTube. Yeah, they didn't do nothing to me. Where did they get that story from? What I just read? He still resisted her as if she was of whoredom, right? And she wasn't a virgin, even though she wasn't a physical, but in the spiritual, she was not a virgin. Why? Now you see the story that they tell about Mary and Jesus. You see the similarities? All they did was finesse it a little bit. How Jesus never kiss Mary. He never kissed Mary Magdalene. And when Asenath heard these words of Joseph, she was cut to the heart. Yeah, bro. She was cut to the heart strongly and was distressed exceedingly inside. And she kept gazing at Joseph with her eyes open, and her eyes were filled with tears. And Joseph saw her and had mercy on her exceedingly, because it was something deeper that he saw that was reiterated in the story. This goes into the legend of the Jews. She was related to Joseph. So he saw something in her. Deeper manner. Right? So it says, and was exceedingly, and was himself cut to the heart, because Joseph was meek and merciful and fearing power. And he lifted up his right hand and put it upon her head and said, Maker power of my father Israel, the Most High, the powerful one of Jacob, who gave life to all things and called them from the darkness to the light. Once again, this is why the third book of Enoch makes sense when it says the Messiah of Joseph. Right? And called them from the darkness to the light, and from the error to the truth, and from the death to the life. You, Maker, bless this virgin, and renew her by your spirit, and form her anew by your hidden hand, and make her alive again by your life, and let her eat your bread of life, and drink your cup of blessings, and number her among your people, that you have chosen before all things came into being, and let her enter your rest, which you have prepared for your chosen ones, and live in your eternal life forever and ever. That's a pretty strong prayer Joseph just laid upon for Asenath, just by how the gazing at him. I'm catching it, man. All right. Let me know if y'all caught all of that, family. And hey, slap me up with whatever y'all get. My allergies is trying to act up. Y'all please slap me up with whatever y'all get. If a precept comes, just throw it out there. Just throw it out there. Because I know y'all got stuff. I know y'all got stuff. Dash, y'all, Judah, Lakeisha, Scotty, I know y'all got stuff, man. Asenath retries or retires in confession. And Asenath rejoiced exceedingly with great joy over Joseph's blessing, and hurried and went into the upper floor by herself and fell on her bed, exhausted, because in her there was joy and distress, and much fear and trembling, and continuations, sweating, as she heard all these words of Joseph, which he had spoken to her in the name of the Most High Power. And she wept with great and bitter weeping, and repented of her infatuation with the gods, whom she used to worship, and spurned all the idols, and waited for the evening to come. Next chapter. Joseph departs after promising to return a week later. And Joseph ate and drank and told his servants, harness the horses to the chariots, for he said, I will go away and drive around the whole land. And Potiphar said to Joseph, let my Lord lodge here today, and tomorrow you will go out on your way. And Joseph said, no, but I will go out today, because this is the day on which power began to make all his creatures, and on the 8th day, when this day returns, I too will return to you and lodge here. All right, family. He said, no, but I will go out today, because this is the day on which power began to make all his creatures. And on the 8th day, they said it was only 7 days. But on the 8th day, hey family, hey Booker, wasn't me and Scotty just talking about that number 8? Hey bro, hey Scotty, who Joseph again, bro? On the 8th day, when this day returns, I too will return to you and lodge here. The 8th day. Oh boy. And Joseph went away on his way, and Potiphar and his whole family went away to their estates. Man. Asenath's conversion, Asenath's repentance. These are the next chapters. Asenath prepares for her repentance in sackcloth and ashes. Catch the fire, man. And Asenath was left alone with the 7 virgins. Another religious trick of that story. What they say about the 7 virgins, something with the Muslims and the 7 virgins when they went to heaven, they seen the 7 virgins or something like that, and then something else that they took and put into religious text, something about the 7 virgins. And she continued to be weighed down and weak until the sunset. And she ate no bread and drank no water. And the night fell, and all people in the house slept. And she alone was awake and continued to brood and to weep. And she often struck her breast with her hand and kept being filled with great fear and trembled with heavy trembling. And Asenath rose from her bed and quietly went down the stairs from the upper floor and went to the gateway, and the woman gatekeeper was asleep with her children. And Asenath hurried and took down from the window the skin, which hung there for a curtain, and filled it with ashes from the fireplace, and carried it up into the upper floor, and put it on the floor, and she closed the door firmly, and slipped the iron bolt across the side with great sighing and bitter weeping. Okay, what got her in so much distress? What got Asenath in so much distress, man? Asenath virgins tried to look after her, and the virgin craved, and the virgin who was her foster sister, whom Asenath loved beyond all the virgins, heard her sighing and hurried. You see, catch the similitude of the stories, that the doctrines that man has given us, the churches has given us, okay, that's been in rulership ever since we could remember, way before our time. This was the doctrine that was preached, that was installed in our heads, the doctrine that we know about Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. Where did that really originate from? Catch the similitudes. And the virgin who was her foster sister, who had seen it love beyond all the virgins, heard her sighing and hurried and woke up the other 6 virgins. And they went to Asenath's door and found the door closed. Okay. And they heard Asenath sighing and weeping, and said to her, "What have you, mistress? And why do you feel so sad? And what is it that is bothering you? Open the door to us, and we will see what you have." And Asenath did not open the door, but said to them from within, but said to them from within. This is the so-called, what they replace with cell phones. We used to communicate from within, spirit to spirit. If we're too far away, we will go within our spirit. Remember, these are Egyptians, right? These are Egyptians that know how to do this. Let that marinate. Let that marinate. So she's communicating with her sisters from within, because she's too messed up on the outside to speak. Okay? My head is stricken with heavy pain, and I am resting in my bed, and I do not have my strength to rise and open the door to you, because I have grown weak in all my limbs. But go, each of you, in your chamber, and rest, and let me be quiet. And the virgins went away, each into her chamber. Next chapter. Asenath throws her valuables away, idols included, and repents in sackcloth and ashes for 7 days. And Asenath rose and opened the door quietly and went into her second chamber where the chests containing her ornaments were, and opened her coffer and took out a black and somber tonic. And this was her tonic of mourning when her younger brother died. And this Asenath had dressed and mourned for her brother. And she took her black tonic and carried it into her chamber and closed the door again firmly and slipped the bolt across. And Asenath hurried and put off her linen and gold woven royal robe and dressed in the black tonic of mourning, and loosened her golden girdle and girded a rope around her feet. Around her, and put a rope around her, Salakia, and put off the tiara from her head, and the diadem and the bracelets from her hands and feet, and put everything on the floor. And she took her chosen robe and the golden girdle and the headgear and the diadem, and threw everything through the window looking north to the port. And Asenath hurried and took all her gods that were in her chamber, the ones of gold and silver, who were without number. All the gods who were without number. And the ground them to pieces, and threw all the idols of the Egyptians through the window looking upper floor to the beggars and needy persons. And Asenath took her royal dinner and the fatlings and the fish and the flesh and the heifer and all the sacrifices of her gods and the vessels of their wine and wine of lamentation, and threw everything through the window looking north, and gave everything to the strange dogs. For Asenath said to herself, by no means must my dogs eat from my dinner and from the sacrifice of the idols, but let the strange dogs eat those. And after that, Asenath took the skin full of ashes and poured it on the floor, and she took a piece of sackcloth and girded it around her waist, and she loosened the claps of her hair to her head. Of her head, Salakia, and sprinkled ashes upon her head, and she scattered the ashes on the floor and struck her breast often with her both hands, and wept bitterly, and fell upon the ashes, and wept with great and bitter weeping all night, with sighing and screaming until daybreak. And Asenath rose at daybreak and looked, and behold, there was much mud from her tears and from the ashes, and Asenath fell again upon her face on the ashes till evening, and until the setting of the sun. And this Asenath did for 7 days, and she ate no bread and drank no water in those 7 days of her humiliation. Okay. Asenath's first soliloquy, go look up that word, on how to take courage to address power. That's the next chapter. And on the 8th day, behold, it was dawn, and the birds were already signing and the dogs barking at people who were passing through. And Asenath lifted her head just a little from the floor in the ashes on which she was laying, because she was exceedingly tired and could not control her limbs because of the want of food for the 7 days. And she rose on her knees and put her hand on the floor and lifted herself up a little from the floor. And she was still bowing her head, and her hair, and the hairs of her head were stretched out in strands from the load of ashes. And Asenath clapped her hands, fingers against fingers, and shook her head to and fro, and struck her breast continuously with her hands, and laid her head into her lap. And her face was flooded with her tears, and she sighed with great sighing, and pulled her hairs from her head, and sprinkled ashes on her head. And Asenath was tired, and had become discouraged of her strength, had gone, and she turned upward to the wall, and sat below the window looking east. And she laid her head into her lap, collapsing her fingers round her right knee, and her mouth was closed, and she had not opened it in the 7 days and in the 7 nights of her humiliation. And she said in her heart, without opening her mouth, what shall I do, miserable that I am? Or where shall I go? With whom shall I take refuge? Or what shall I speak? Okay. Y'all still there with me? Y'all still there with me? Okay. And I, the virgin, and an orphan, and this desolate, and abandoned, and hated, all people have come to hate me. And on top of those, my father and my mother, because I too have come to hate their gods and have destroyed them. You see that? So why did Pharaoh give Joseph a slide on hating his gods, but not his daughter? Yeah, pee. Go pee. Baby, hit the light. That's what it is. See? That's what we gotta ask ourselves. Why was it okay for Joseph to do it, but not Asenath? That's his daughter. He adopted her. He loved Asenath. Especially because she curved every dude. Right? This is where they get the story of Aladdin from, even. Was she not curving every dude in Aladdin until the prince came? The humble one. So look. Where we at? Where I leave off at? Yeah, she said, because I too come to hate their gods and have destroyed them and caused them to be trampled underfoot by man. And therefore my father and my mother and my whole family have to come to hate me, and said, Asenath is not our daughter. They disowned her because she destroyed our gods. And all people hate me, because I too have come to hate every man and all who ask for my hand in marriage. And now, in this humiliation of mine, all have come to hate me and gloat over this affliction of mine. And the maker, the power of the powerful Joseph, and the maker power, the powerful of Joseph, the Most High, hates all those who worship idols because he is a jealous and terrible power toward all those who worship strange gods, strange powers. Therefore, he has come to hate me. He has come to hate me too, because I worship, right? Because I worship dead and dumb idols and bless them and ate from their sacrifices, and my mouth is defiled from their table. What? You don't even got to look at what, the fake Jews are doing and how they celebrate Passover and stuff, because the brethren do it that way too. Do they not say they got to sacrifice a lamb and eat of it? What is she saying right here? Was that the doctrine of power? Was that the doctrine of life? Or was that the doctrine of man? Obviously, she's saying something different right here. And what they gonna say? Huh? Let one of the, one of these Hebrew brothers tell it. They more wise than the Senate right now. That's what they pride would tell them, that they're more wise. Cena didn't know what she was talking about. And ate from their sacrifices, and my mouth is defiled from their table. And I do not have the boldness to call, okay? And I do not have the boldness to call on the maker power of heaven, the Most High, the mighty one of the powerful Joseph. What bro say? Doesn't that scripture say there's only one or two chosen in each family? Chosen celestial being, I think, to be honest. Yeah, fam. Yeah, brother. Yep. So are you guys catching all of this right here? Y'all catching all this? But I've heard many saying that the power of the Hebrews is a true power. Indeed, he is. The Hebrews are true. Go by the Hebrews. I don't care what anybody tell you. He talked to my spirit, and he talked to me in Hebrew. He came to my spirit and gave me the word Oz. Look up the origin of the word Oz and what it means. Okay? That the power of the Hebrews is true, is a true power, in a living power, the true and living power. There you go right there. There you go right there, Lakeisha. Ain't that what we love to call him? The true and living power. That's how she just addressed him. Asenath. Pharaoh's daughter. The so-called Egyptian. And a merciful power, and compassionate, and long-suffering, and pitiful, and gentle, and does not count the sin of a humble person, and does not, humbleness takes you very, very far, and does not count the sin of a humble person, nor expose the lawless deeds of an afflicted person, pay attention, at the time of his affliction. Huh? We didn't pass by our own deeds. We passed because how power looks at things. This the only thing that make us safe is because how things, man. Because of him we got righteousness. Because of how the way he judges. The lawless deeds of an afflicted person at the time of his afflictions. Okay, therefore I would take courage to and turn to him and take refuge with him and confess all my sins to him and pour out my supplication before him. Who knows, maybe he will see my humiliation and have mercy on me. Perhaps he will see this desolation of mine and have compassion on me, or see my orphanage and protect me, because he is the father of orphans and a protector of the persecuted and of the afflicted, a helper. I would take courage and cry to him. Isn't it Psalms, what is 78? Or Psalm 74? Something like that? One of the Psalms, what you just said right here was Psalms. So what did David really say those Psalms? Did David really say those prayers? I don't know. I don't know. A lot of biting going on around here. A lot of biting. A lot of dogs doing a lot of biting. What you over there hollering and hooting about? A second soliloquy on how to take courage to pronounce power's name. On how to take courage to pronounce power's name. There you go again, babe. It's two views, two people. I was looking at me on the tube, but you know, you never tell who it is. And Asenath rose from the wall where she was sitting and turned to the window looking east and straightened up on her knees and spread her hands out toward heaven. And she was afraid to open her mouth and to name the name of power. And she turned again away to the wall and sat and struck her head and her breast with her hand often, and said in her heart without opening her mouth, what a wretched woman I am, and an orphan and desolate. My mouth is defiled from the sacrifices of the idols and from the blessings of the gods of the Egyptians. And now, in these tears of mine, in the ashes strewn around, in the filth of my humiliation, how shall I open my mouth? How shall I open my mouth to the Most High? And how name his terrible holy name? And how to name his terrible holy name? And be sure that the Maker will not be angry with me, because in the midst of my lawless deeds I have called on his holy name. I will rather take courage and open my mouth to him and invoke his name. And if in fury the Maker strikes me, he himself will again heal me. And if he chastises me with his whips, he will himself will look again on me in his mercy. And if he is furious at me in my sins, he will again be reconciled with me and forgive me every sin. So I will take courage to open my mouth to him. A scenic confession of sin in prayer for acceptance. Are y'all staying along with me? Y'all staying with me? A lot of similarity. A lot of similarity going on right here. And Athena rose again from the wall where she sat and straightened up on her knees and spread her hand eastward and looked with her eyes up toward heaven and opened her mouth to power and said, Maker, power of the ages, who created all things and gave life to them, who gave breath of life to your whole creation, who brought the invincible things out into the light, who made the things that are and the ones that have an appearance from the non-appearing and non-being, who lifted up the heaven and founded it on a firmament upon the back of the winds, and founded the earth upon the waters, who put big stones on the abyss of the water, and the stones will not be submerged, but they are like oak leaves floating on top of the water. And they are living stones, and they are living stones. She got a lot of knowledge of power, don't she? This is an Egyptian woman. Y'all seeing this with vision? So who are the Egyptians? She got so much knowledge of power and know every miracle and everything that he did and how he started everything, right? How would she have such knowledge? Scotty. Spiritual seed. No, brother. No, we don't deal with them other nations, bro. You don't deal with them other nations, bro. No, you don't deal with the Israelites, man. Yeah, you don't deal with the Israelites, man. You don't deal with no other nation. But it's bigger than that even, bro. Because Khan, accurate, 100% right with the spiritual seed, family. But she also had teachings. These are teachings. Who are the Egyptians, bro? Pharaoh chose. Remember what I said. He didn't let his daughter pass with this, with destroying his idols and dismissing them. But he let Joseph pass with it. Matter of fact, he went above and beyond that. It tells you in Genesis 41 and 38. Who got wisdom and understanding like this? This gotta be a power. Who got wisdom and understanding like this man do? He gotta be a power. Meaning Pharaoh knew all about the almighty power. He knew all about him. So who is Pharaoh? Let's continue. Right? Said living stones, and hear your voice, Maker, and keep your commandments, which you have commanded to them, and never transgress your ordinance, but are doing your will to the end. Here this is her talking. For you, Maker, spoke, and they were brought to life, because your word, Maker, is life for all your creatures. With you I take refuge, Maker. Into you I will shout, Maker. To you I will pour out my supplication. To you I will confess my sins. And to you I will reveal my lawless deeds. Spare me, Maker, because I have sinned much before you. I have committed lawlessness and irreverence, and have said wicked and unspeakable things before you. And remember, she just said she was downplaying Joseph. Unspeakable things. Why do you think it's hitting her so hard? So who is Joseph? It's hitting her so hard. Y'all still there? Am I losing anybody? Y'all hearing this? Y'all hearing her supplication? Y'all hearing her testimony, her cry? You know how beautiful this is? She had everything already within in like you said, the spiritual seed. But she was already knowing. But growing up under her father's house and him serving idols and strange gods, right? What was she subdued to? That's for every man and husband. You're the head of the household. So like Joshua, Yahushua, the son of Nun, said, as for me and my house, we will serve the true and living power. You see? That's why he had to reiterate that. And he said what? On the other side of the flood where your fathers were, choose ye this day. Because you see what happened to them, on whom you should serve. And on the side of the flood, he's talking about the great oceans, the Atlantic, where they had to skip on the other side, the flood, meaning the ocean, meaning waters, where he kicked them off this land. She said, I committed lawlessness in reverence and have said wicked and unspeakable things before you. My mouth is defiled from the sacrifices of the idols and from the tables of the gods of the Egyptians. Go peep that movie, The Gods of Egypt. The Gods of Egypt. Remember, Egypt is just a title. Egypt is a system of bondage. Okay? So there's gods in this sail that is called Egypt. Who are the gods? You understand what I'm saying? Egypt It's just a name for a prison, for a penitentiary. Okay? It's a jail cell. That's called Egypt. And the gods are placed there. So who are the gods? Before you, I have sinned much in ignorance. Okay? And have worshipped dead and dumb idols. And now I am not worthy to open my mouth. Now let me stop right there. Worship dead and dumb idols. Like how Polo G grew up worshiping Lil Wayne, an idol, a dead and dumb idol. All of us are dead and dumb. You get it? Okay? Worshiping Tupac, worshiping Michael Jordan, idolizing him. They're idols. This is why they are publicized. Okay? LeBron, this is why they are publicized. They're pushed forward for you to worship them, idolize them. There is nothing new under the sun. So that was by the grace and power that she did, that she didn't mess with any man. Because it's not just one thing when you think of idols. Yes, she said she threw out idols, gold, silver. That's idols too. Money. Because you worship the material too. But more than the material, more than the substance, you worship the person. Okay? That have on the gold, that have all the money, that have all the women, and vice versa. Goddesses are idols as well. Dumb and death, idols. They can't bring prosperity to you. You see people asking, or people saying, looking at these YouTube channels, brother Charleston White, right? He got his platform. And he's saying, he's being interviewed. And the question is, the title is, why Jay-Z or none Diddy and them never did anything for the black community? Because they are not built up to produce prosperity, okay? To produce life, to produce righteousness. They're not built up in that manner. They are deaf and dumb idols. They don't know how to do such things. These are the Egyptian gods. You get it? This is why she is saying this in her supplication to power. And now I am not worthy to open my mouth to you, Maker, and I, Athena, daughter of Potiphar, the priest, the virgin and queen. Potiphar the priest. Funny how Egyptians still go by priests and stuff. Where did they get that from? The virgin and queen, who was once proud and ignorant and prospering in my riches beyond all people, am now an orphan and desolate and abandoned by all people. With you I take refuge, Maker, and to you I bring my supplication, and to you I will shout. Rescue me before I am caught by my persecutors. Don't this sound like the Psalms of David? Rescue me before I am caught by my persecutors. For just as a little child who is afraid flees to his father, and the father, stretching out his hands, snatches him off the ground and put his arms around him by his breast. Now, it's funny how I had a vision when I was 11 years old in the harlot's house in these churches. I had a vision very similar to this, and I wasn't asleep. I was wide awake, and he took me out of that harlot's house and showed me a big hand stretching down from the sky. Big and white, not what we think is white people white. No, big and the real white, like so bright you can't even stand the light. Jeremiah. I'm about to fight you, dude. Big and light. What is Patsy at? Saying you gonna be getting kicked out of class, man. Yeah, you gonna get kicked out of class. Yeah, he threw it on the floor. That's what he did, man. Get out of here, man. Shush. Y'all still there? I ain't hear nothing in a while now. Y'all still there? Huh? Lakeisha? Y'all throw me some sevens or something, man. she said, y'all LOL. Yeah, can't do a lesson without him, man. Can't do a lesson without him interrupting. Even if I try to do it when he's asleep, he'll wake up and start screaming. He got to get kicked out of the class, man. All right. So she says this. Rescue me before I am caught by my persecutors. For just as a little child who is afraid flees to his father, and the father, stretching out his hands, snatches him off the ground and puts his arms around him by his breast. And the child claps his hands around his father's neck and regains his breath after his fear. Fear not. And rest at his father's breast. The father, however, smiled at the confusion of his childish mind. Likewise, you too. Likewise. She says, likewise, you too. Okay? Likewise, you too, Maker. No, she's no longer talking about the father. She's saying, likewise, you too, Maker. Stretch out your hands upon me as a child loving father. Okay? And snatch me off the earth. The wild old lion they tried to stamp every picture that you see or whatever you hear about a lion, try to put it in the sense of righteousness. That's why you got the movie Lion King. Put Scar up in your head right now. Not Mufasa. Put Scar. Okay? She says, for behold, the wild old lion persecutes me, because he is the father of the gods of the Egyptians, and his children are the gods of the idol maniacs. And I have come to hate them, because they are the lion's children, and have thrown all of them from me and destroyed them. And the lion, their father, furiously persecutes me. Who is this lion? Who is this lion that persecutes, man? But you, Maker, rescue me from his hands, and from his mouth deliver me, lest he carry me off like a lion and tear me up, and throw me into the flame of the fire, will throw me into a hurricane, and the hurricane will wrap me up in darkness and throw me out into the deep of the sea, and the big sea monster who exists since eternity will swallow me, and I will be destroyed forever and ever. Rescue me, Maker, before all this comes upon me. Rescue me, Maker, the desolate and solitary, because my father and my mother disowned me and said, Athena is not our daughter, because I have destroyed the ground to pieces, their gods, and have come to hate them. And I am now an orphan and desolate, and I have no other hope save in you, Maker, and no other refuge except your mercy, Maker, because you are the father of the orphans, and a protector of the persecuted, and a helper of the afflicted. Have mercy upon me, Maker, and guard me, a virgin who is abandoned and an orphan, because you, Maker, are a sweet and good and gentle father. What father is as sweet as you, Maker, and who is as quick in mercy as you, Maker, and who is as long-suffering toward our sins as you, Maker? I kept silent. I suffered. Who did these acts? Who is she talking to? She knows everything about Joseph. For behold, all the gifts of the father Potiphar, which he gave me, is an inheritance, are transient and obscure, but the gifts of your inheritance, Maker, are incorruptible and eternal. This right now, this is why I said this is so beautiful. This lesson is so beautiful. You feel me? Because this is how we are supposed to be viewing things at this very moment, this very second, in these last days, in this final hour. This, how Athena is breaking this down in prayer, that's how we supposed to keep ourselves. This is why they doing what they doing. They know that this right here, this material ass world, is about to fade into naught. Like it never happened. And eternity is right here. Eternity is taking over. This is what she's saying. Be mindful, Maker, of my humiliation and have mercy upon me. Look at my orphanage and have compassion on my afflicted. For behold, I fled from everything and took refuge in you, Maker, the only friend to man. Behold, I left behind all the good things of the earth and took refuge in you, Maker. In this sackcloth and ashes, naked and an orphan and left all alone. Behold, I put off my linen royal robe, interwoven with violet and gold, and dressed in black in a black mourning tunic. Behold, I loosened my golden girdle and threw it off of me, and girded a rope and sackcloth around myself. Behold, my tiara and my diadem I threw off my head, and have sparkled ashes upon it. Behold, the floor of my chamber paved with colored and purple stones, which once used to be besparkled with perfumes and wiped with bright linen cloths, is now besparkled with my tears, and was profaned, having been powdered with ashes. Behold, my Maker, for my tears and my ashes, much mud has been formed in my chamber as on a broad street. Behold, Maker, my royal dinner and the cereals I have gave to the strange dogs. And behold, 7 days and 7 nights I was fasting and ate no bread and drank no water. And my mouth was become dry as a drum, and my tongue as a horn, and my lips as a potsherd, and my face my face is fallen, and my eyes are burning in shame, for my many tears, and my entire strength has left me. Behold, now all the gods whom I once used to worship in ignorance, I have now recognized that they were dumb and dead idols. Can't we see this now in real time? Why do you think all those cases popped up about all them Hollywood celebrity stars? Found out what they was doing behind the scenes. Allegedly, got to say that for, you know, Facebook and YouTube purposes. Allegedly. It's not new under the sun, man. Gonna find out more and more and more. Gonna find out more and more and more too. She said, but behold, now all the gods whom I once worshipped in ignorance, I have now recognized that they were dumb and dead idols. And I have caused them to be trampled underfoot by man. And the thieves snatched those that were of silver and gold. And with you I have taken refuge, O Maker, my power. Yet you rescue me from my many deeds of ignorance and pardon me, because I have sinned against you in ignorance, being a virgin, and have fallen in error unwittingly, and spoken blasphemous words against my Lord Joseph, because I did not know the miserable one that I am, that he is your son. She's talking to the Most High. They kick y'all off. Y'all still there? I see they're getting mad. They're getting mad. Did you hear that? And have fallen in error unwittingly, and spoken blasphemous words against my Lord Joseph. Against my Lord Joseph, because I did not know the miserable one that I am, that he is your son. As people told me, this was really about to blow your mind. You ready for this? As people told me that Joseph is the shepherd's son from the land of Canaan. Speaking of, about to hear. The shepherd's son from Canaan, and I, the miserable one, have come to believe them and fall into error. Why does she fall into error hearing that Joseph was the son of Jacob? Why does she fall into error hearing that Joseph was the son of Jacob? I told you it was going to come back around, man. It was going to come back around. And I have despised him and spoken wicked words about him and did not know that he is your son. She's talking to the Most High here. She's saying to the Most High, I didn't know that Joseph was your son. I thought he was the son of Jacob. Did you catch it? I get it right there. That's cut, dead, dry, left, exposed. Somebody did a lot of biting. Somebody did a lot of biting. Who did it? Lakeisha, you caught that? You caught that? That's why this is the year of Joseph. But when they speak of it, they tried to give you the Joseph of Jesus Christ. He said the great words of my brother Devon. Oh no! She said he fell in error, thinking that he was the son of Jacob and not the son of the Most High. Come on, man. Come on, dog. That can't close, man. That's can't close, man. I'll finish it, though. And I, the miserable one, have come to believe them and fall into error. He fell into error for what? Let's go back. And spoken blasphemous words against my Lord Joseph, because I did not know. And she can't call, she's not calling, remember. This ain't no Sarah and Abraham event here, because they're not married. That's not her Lord pertaining to husband. No. Sarah called Abraham that because that's her husband. So anybody try to get that confused, all right? If anybody try to get that confused, They'll be lying. They're misled. Joseph didn't even give her a kiss. He stiff-armed her. But what did she say? She said, "My Lord Joseph." So it's not the same as Abraham and Sarah. No. She says, "And spoken blasphemous words against my Lord Joseph, because I did not know, the miserable one that I am, that he is your son." Told me, who is these people, that Joseph is the shepherd's son from the land of Canaan. Remember, Joseph never revealed that. Joseph never told them that. He stayed silent, remember? So who was the people telling them that? It's all in the details, man. It's all in the details, man. That Joseph is the shepherd's son from the land of Canaan. Jacob was over there in Canaan. He's in Egypt. And I, the miserable one, have come to believe them and fall into error. And I have despised, there's nothing new under the sun, and have despised him and spoken wicked words about him, and did not know that he is your son. For who among men will give birth to such beauty and such great wisdom and virtue and power, as owned by the all-beautiful Joseph? Lord, I commit to him. I commit him to you. Lord, I commit him to you because I love him beyond my own soul. Preserve him in the wisdom of your grace. In you, Maker, commit me to him for a maidservant and slave, and I will make his bed and wash his feet and wait on him and be a slave for him and serve him forever and ever. This is the prayer that we make to the King of old. She just gave you the covenant. He's coming back to do what? You married? Don't this sound like the marriage that Yahushua got with us? This sound like the marriage Yahushua got with us, man. Where did they get their story from? I kicked it off with the sealed portion, chapter 43. You can read, you can see straight through it. For those who have eyes to see, you can see straight through it. Copy and paste. Copy and paste. All for the glory. This is Brother Nehemiah, man. This will be a continuation. Up next is a Senate acceptance. That's up next. But this is Brother Nehemiah, man. I hope this lesson was edifying. I hope eyes have saw this clearly. Then you ain't no need. You don't got to debate nobody. Just bust this out on them, the precept. That's all. Everything I find in the Bible by precept is there. It's funny how you don't hear though. That's what you don't hear about. You don't hear about a scenic like that in the Bible. They made sure to give her a small little portion. You're gonna see what power and who a scenic is. And what power did with her. And what power gave her. They robbed and they stole and they copied so much. So much. It's terrible, man. It's terrible what they tried to do for the glory. Can you do? The end is here. Giving all praises, glory, and honor to who it belongs to, the eternal fire, the eternal Father, and to his beloved Son, blessed be he, the Holy One, the King of old, our eternal Mother, the Ruach HaKodesh, her praises and honor, the Holy Spirit, to Michael, give him honor, give him his flowers for all that he do for the people. Much love to the family out there. Much love. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. Thank y'all for sharing with me, sharing this lesson with me, man. All right, say this dialogue. So I'm only bringing out what y'all spirits already know, because it's that time. So I'm just bearing witness, testimony. Till next time. Till next time. I love y'all. I love y'all. Love y'all. Keep your fires up. Keep that praise high. Keep that praise high, man. We on the roll. Power got us on the roll. Victory is at hand. Victory is at hand. Shalom.